Howdy friends, Steve DePoe here from the Rose Realty Team. You know, we at the Rose Realty Team belong to a lot of groups, networking groups, groups of small business entrepreneurs, and people always ask me, why should I pick the Rose Realty Team to either buy a new home or to sell my current home? I mean, you know, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, there's like 40,000 real estate agents out there. Why the Rose Realty Team? And I'd like to explain that by giving 3 real quick examples. Number 1, we had a customer who had listed their home with another agent, with another team, for about 5 or 6 months. They listed the home, they put it in MLS, and they put a sign out front. That was it. They expected people to come knocking at the door. Well, it didn't happen. They came to us, this particular customer came to us and said, what can you do for me? So we presented them with our marketing program, and they said, we want you to list our house. Well, after about 5 weeks or so, we got an offer. But the only problem was there was a contingency. The buyer of this house, the buyer of this new property, had to sell their house first. That's what a contingency is. So the owner or the seller said, you know what? I'll take your contingency if you let the Rose Realty Team list your house. The buyer said, okay, why not? We'll let them list our house. After less than a week, we got multiple offers on that house, and we sold it for above asking price. So the seller of the original house got what they wanted. They got their house listed and sold in 5 weeks, and the seller/buyer of that second house had a done deal and a signed contract within a week. Pretty good, isn't it? The second example I like to give is we had a customer that we found them a golf course property. They always wanted a golf course property, so we found them one. But then, of course, they had to sell their current house. So we got a contract for their purchase, and we listed their house that they had to sell. But then guess what? They went off on a 3-week vacation to Europe. Very nice vacation. We saw the pictures. Very nice vacation. But we had to do everything via email and phone call and whatever, long distance. Well, the short part of the short circuit of the story is that within a week, 2.5 weeks, we had a firm fixed contract on their purchase, and we had multiple offers on their sale, and by the time they came back after that 3-week vacation, they had to decide which offer should I take. We negotiated everything while they were in Europe, and we went that extra full service step to make sure that they were happy. Third example, we had a customer who came to us and said, we want to list our house. We're unhappy with our current agent or our current agency. We want to list our house. The problem was that this particular couple was retired, they're on a fixed income, and expenses keep rising. So they said, you know, we're not sure we can afford to live in our house. Our first step was to connect them with one of our mortgage companies, with one of our great mortgage companies and mortgage brokers, to see whether they could get a lower mortgage that would lower their costs and lower their expenses so they could stay in their current house. That was our first step. It wasn't, yeah, we'll list your house. It was, what can we do to satisfy our customer and make them happy first before we take into consideration our listing and what we're going to get out of it. As it turns out, because we did the right thing, they still wanted to move, and we currently have their house listed. So the long and the short of it is, the Rose Realty Team goes that extra mile. We're a full-service realty team. We'll walk your dog. We'll help you pack your boxes. We just recently, on one of those 2 houses I just mentioned, we recently put screens in their windows because they didn't know how to do it, and I went over and did it. We're a full-service realty team. We're here for you, and we go that extra mile to make sure you're happy no matter what your circumstances are. Keep that in mind next time you have a real estate question or you're thinking about buying or selling. The Rose Realty Team goes the extra mile. This is Steve DePoe for the Rose Realty Team. I'm going to bounce.